It might help. It might help if I unmute. Okay. I like how it defaulted to muted. Okay. We're good? Yeah, so it's funny. So it's telling me that I have an unstable connection to the internet, but that's not even what just caused it to go down. For some reason, this computer just decided it needed to like restart. I stepped away for a second and I just heard the like startup noise of the computer. I'm like, what? Why? Oh no. Okay, cool. We're back, and it looks like it's running fine too. Cool. What I stepped away for a second to do was grab the dye, Jen's dye, because it's been probably a couple days since I actually went and checked on it. It's probably good to go. I was gonna let it go maybe a couple more days. Let's see if I can even show you what I'm trying to. I need to send you some photos. I went and yeah, that's probably shiny enough now that I'm looking at it here. That might be shiny enough. I went and got the paint, the red glitter paint. I'm gonna send you some photos, Jen. Yeah, there's still maybe a couple slight. I don't know if I can even show you. They're so slight on camera. Yeah, I don't know that I can even show you. There you go. You can kind of see at the very top corner there. See that line? I was trying to wait for like that to buff out. Probably wouldn't notice it unless I pointed it out. It's one of those things, but yes, I'm gonna send you photos after the stream, Jen. I went and got a red glitter paint today, and so I have photos of what it and the blue one look like. But I think this thing's pretty much ready to go. I might let it run like overnight, but it's getting so close. And it's so cool. I like that you can see the horn on the one skull on the bottom. There you go. You can kind of see the tiefling horn on the one skull on the bottom. Anyways, yeah, I think I'll probably let it run at least overnight. But it's so close. It's the last thing we're waiting on before I can ship things. Oh, why did I do that? I don't need that piece. What is it? Oh, it's here. Do you mind if I show it off, Jen? It's a commission that Jen was getting. Okay, yeah, it's probably my most ambitious dye yet. So we'll go from bottom to top. There's little tiny polymer clay skulls, and also actually some little tiny polymer clay rocks too. But the skulls are the interesting part. Some little tiny polymer clay skulls, one of which is a tiefling, has a little horn, and those are buried underground. And then there is a wizard tower in there that I designed on the. I went and built it in Blender and then printed it out on the Resin 3D printer. And then I made a little tiny sphere to go in there as well. And then I went and designed some little tiny crystals on Blender as well. Little tiny crystal clusters. They kind of fused a little bit because of the way that it didn't work well with my silicone, but I went and built some little tiny crystal clusters in Blender, printed them out, and made some molds. And then I went and found some holographic foil and cut it with a craft knife into some lightning. And the reason it's not super holographic is because it's been painted with some glow-in-the-dark pigment. So this thing also glows in the dark, and it actually has two different colors in there. The lightning glows blue, I think, and then the blue orb in the middle glows like pink or like red. But yeah, this was probably it was a very ambitious project. But the other die that's in here was the first pass at it. Did I just say those words correctly? First pass at it. There we go. Yeah, so there was a few things in this that just didn't turn out. The lightning kind of, all went to one side. Like there was so much stuff at the top, it was hard to see the tower. Couldn't really see the skulls very well. So we went and did it again, and it turned out much better. So, but now I have this one that I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. That seems a little oddly specific to polish up and put in my shop. But this one is so close to being polished and done. Ooh. Did who do which thing that you said? You'll take it? I need to polish it up. Let's see here. So we've got another form made for that. I'm just going to build all the forms. About making glow-in-the-dark inserts. Which thing did you say about making glow-in-the-dark inserts? I don't remember. What were we making glow-in-the-dark inserts of? I don't remember. You'll have to apologize. You'll have to forgive me in my brain. You make it sound like I would remember anything ever. I'm very bad at remembering things from the streams. Like, that maybe sounds weird. But like, if someone suggests something... Wait, that doesn't ask... But what were we talking about, though? I don't remember. I'm very bad at remembering things from the streams. Which is why if someone suggests something, I'll usually grab my planner and write it down. It's because I'm like, I will forget. The first time that I was attempting the D20. I can't remember what your suggestion was. I'm assuming it had to do with the lightning. Oh! I can't remember what your suggestion was, because we bounced around a few ideas. That was the last thing that, that was the kind of last piece before I actually put everything together was the lightning. Like, I did not know how I was going to do the lightning in that thing. And kind of held that was the, it's funny, like, the pieces that you would think would be, I'm trying to figure out how to make the lightning. You said shaping wire. Oh, to make molds. I thought you were saying shaping wire to put in. You're making molds of the wire. I didn't end up doing that. No, I have some holographic paper. Not paper. I have it here. Yes, here it is. I have this like holographic plastic wrapping paper stuff. And I literally went and like cut out a little piece, taped it down, and then made lightning with a craft knife. I didn't realize at the time that you were saying to make a mold out of the wire. I thought you were just saying to take the wire itself and put it in. I think I had that same conversation with my brother, actually. I think my brother also came up with the idea of wire. See, that would have been a way to do it too. Yeah, I see now what you're saying. We wanted to, actually that probably would have worked better. Now that I'm thinking about it, because we could have done holographic glitter and glow-in-the-dark powder. I don't know if it would have worked better or not. I don't know. I like how it ended up. So, it's like, maybe if we do lightning again, I'll do that. Maybe if we do lightning again, I'll do that. That might be easier in the future. But I'm proud of how that die turned out. I think it turned out pretty cool. It ended up kind of how I imagined it, which was like that's something, which sounds weird. Like I can paint pretty okay, but not necessarily the best at drawing, and I feel like it's sometimes really hard to get an idea that you have in your head to like actually work. But I'm really happy that it turned out like how I kind of pictured it. Hopefully it turned out the way that Jen pictured it too. That's the important part. That's one of the things that I really love about doing commissions. I've been doing a lot more commissions lately than pre-made sets, but is yay. Like I was saying about being able to like take an idea out of your head and then create it. Like drawing, I can't necessarily do that. So you might commission someone else to do it. It's really satisfying to be able to like take an idea out of someone else's head and make it a reality. And that's part of the reason that like I check in so much, I guess, and go, okay, like, what exactly do you want type thing, because it's like if you have an idea in your head, I want to be able to like make that for you so it can actually become like a real thing. There's something really satisfying about that. Exceeded expectations. Excellent. I'm really glad that you like it, Jen. Okay. Let me think about this here. Okay. I do have some dice here that we could maybe use some more molds of. I think I could definitely use another D4, one of my little triangle ones, not my crystal ones, because I think I only have 3 here, whereas I have like at least 8 of all of my other ones. I think those maybe are just starting to wear out, some of them. So let's make a D4, and that's going to be the same size as these. D12 I don't have. I want to have like at least 8, I think, of each. These pointy D4s aren't as big of a deal. I guess, like I said, I've been doing a lot more commissions lately, which I use the triangle D4s for. But the D12, I don't have 12. I don't have 8 of the ones that are up. If you want to know what I'm looking at all my molds over here. So I have all of my molds. These are all of the ones with the highest. These are all the ones with the highest number at the top. These are all of the. Yeah, these are all of the ones with the highest number at the bottom. These are the blank ones. These are my Fate dice molds. These are my pipped D6 molds, and then these are my jumbo dice molds. And then there's other random things on the table here. These are all my D2s. But I'm trying to decide what is needed. I think the D12 and the D4. I really need to sort through these. I have at least started. To pull out ones that I've noticed are like really old and scratchy. I probably should pull out some more. Like there's some here that I know are really old. Like I don't make this style of mold anymore. I don't make them in the round shape. I know that mold's old. But let me see here. I'm kind of paring it down a little bit. I think I don't need to do a crystal oh, I've got like hiccups or something. I don't think I need to do the crystal D4. D6s are always useful. I think we'll do a D6 with the highest number at the top. I used to, well, I still do. I send orders with like a bonus D4 in them. But I'm gonna start moving towards doing a bonus D6. So when I have like a little bit of leftover resin while I'm pouring resin, I'll just pour it into a D6 mold. You want to see my bonus die container? I'll show you why we're making the fate dice molds. I'm making some single fate dice molds so that we can use them as like bonus dice. So if you order a set of 4, you've never not liked the bonus dice. Oh, yay! I usually try, little fun fact, at least for a while now, I usually try to kind of match the die to the dice that you got. Not necessarily the same color or the same pattern, just something that like has a similar vibe to me. Not to me, but like, at least to me, seems like it has a similar vibe. Some of them, you know, are prettier than others, but no, this is the container of bonus dice. I have a bunch of actually bonus D4s upstairs that are all polished and inked, but I only have not many more bonus D4s. We're moving away from it. There's a black and gold D4 I sent you that you just want the rest of the set for it. I mean, we could make it happen. If you send me a photo of it, maybe we can, maybe I'll make a set. That is something that I'll do sometimes. Like, I really liked how this D6 looked, all of these earthy tones, and then there's actually the one face is yellow. But I really liked how this D6 looked. I'm not even necessarily saying as a commission, Omar, just send me a photo and maybe I can make a set. But yeah, I really liked how that looked, so I decided, let's do it. And so I did. Ooh. Oh, that's not all of them. So I did. I went and made a set with all those colors. But yeah, so the reason that I'm making more of the fate dice, single fate dice molds, is because this is how many of them I have. I only have 4 in here that I can use as spare, what were math rocks? What? Math rocks? What? Huh? These are all math rocks. What are you talking about? But yeah, I only have 4. The last that I showed. Oh yeah, with all the earthy tones. I really liked the earthy tones. And then this is all D6s, so I'm doing fine on D6s. I have a set of dice that are going to be in the shop on Friday. Oh, I should just call them Math Rocks. I have a set of dice that are going to be in the shop on Friday. They didn't quite turn out how I expected necessarily, but let me show you a photo of them. I might just call them Math Rocks. Now that it's been said, it's just like, oh, that'd be a good name. Let me see if I can find a photo of them. No, good photo. Sure, this works. Here's my mossy stone dice. So maybe I will just call these Math Rocks. That'd be a really good name for them. I hadn't even thought of that. I hadn't thought of a name yet for them. But I feel like that'd be funny. But yeah, these are all D6s. But I need more just bonus fate dice. Because, you know, I only have 4 here. Stack these up. Your naming fee is 1%. Let me just do the math on that. Considering the less than 100, it's going to be less than $1. So let's see, 1%, probably what, 80 cents? I feel like we can make that happen. I'll give you a coupon code for 80 cents. 80 cents off your, yeah, 80 cents off your next purchase. Or real bonus there. Okay, let's, I'm gonna make one for this D4. Ah, so much random silicone. I still don't know why my computer decided to randomly restart. I did try to restart before streaming, and it ran into an error. And so I wonder if it was just finally getting to that restart. So it was finally just like, okay, I can restart now. Now that you've already manually restarted by holding the power button down. I've figured it out now. Okay, let's see. All right, there's another one for our D4. Let's see. I do kind of want to, I really need to figure out what I want to do about the Resin 3D printer and the material that it prints. The resin that I have now doesn't react the best with my silicone. It kind of melts a little bit. The silicone does. It doesn't cure. It worked fine for the smaller things that I did, even if they ended up a little bit softer, I guess, around the edges. But if I want to do dice, that's not going to work. I need clarity in the numbers and stuff. So I need to figure out, I'd rather not get a different kind of silicone, although I saw it pointed out that I could get a different kind of silicone and just use it for that. And so if I could make like a dice molds out of the different silicone, pour like a set of masters in that, and then use those as masters that I could then make more molds of. I think the next thing I want to do dice-wise, maybe, is make dice for, like, Vampire the Masquerade, maybe? I got asked about them, like, once, but at the time, you know, didn't have the stuff to do it. So I need to get that figured out for the 3D printer, but I think that might be next. Partially just because, like, when I looked them up, the normal kind of symbols that are used for them, I think my logo would work really well in place. I need to figure out, you know, some design stuff, but I feel like my logo would work really well on a set of vampire dice. I also know a couple folks that play that game, system. That was the word I was looking for. Gaming system. So, you know, it could be fun to send them some dice that match or go with it. Oh, that reminds me, I have a friend that I need to reach out to about some dice stuff. Alright, there's a mold for our D6. The D12 is going to be a little tiny bit bigger. Like, it's just a little bit too close to the walls in here. I would worry about it, like, kind of getting deformed almost. Let me just set this down and I'll show you. I'll move the camera over to where it is. It's just very kind of close to the walls. I want a little bit of buffer between the die and the outside wall, just so that when I put the resin in, it doesn't deform. I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to make the form for the D12 a little bit bigger, just a little bit, and that's why I have other random Legos in here. We're just playing with Legos today, guys. That's the stream. We're just building random like torus cubes out of Legos. torus cubes. Yeah, I guess that works. I guess that's accurate. I don't know if there's a word for a square donut. Oh, you know, that could be a fun, I could see that being like a fun novelty sort of donut idea, doing like square donuts. I could totally see that being a thing, like a place that's kind of their gimmick. Feel free to steal that, but I do request 1%. It'll come out to you know, maybe it'll be 85 cents, and I'll beat Omar out on it. And his 1% to get 70 cents. So we're just gonna make this one a little bit. We're gonna make it one bigger. So I'm just adding an extra piece in there. So now it's one bigger. Yes, it's one bigger. You can. No. Just a second here. I can show you that it's one bigger. See, it is one bigger. All right. I'm going to do that all the way around because I want this whole thing to be one bigger. Oh. Here's a question for y'all. I like asking this just every once in a while. Is there any particular things that you'd like to see me stream? Like, obviously, resin stuff. Obviously, dice. That's not going to go away. But, you know, I was debating doing, like, a gingerbread house stream. I feel like that could be fun. Just make a gingerbread house together. Maybe a little bit random. Horror games. Oh, gosh. I do kind of want to try playing Phasmophobia. Even though I despise being scared. I feel like that one would definitely need to have face cam set up for. Because that's half the fun of watching people play. You'd play? Alright, alright. We might have to make this happen. But no, I definitely have to have face cam set up for that. Because that's half the fun of watching people play horror games. Oh, dear. Like that. So that could be fun. That could be fun. I think I'm definitely going to continue doing Minecraft. Just because I use streaming as kind of an excuse to, like, do fun things. Like, actually make time to do fun things. So I'm going to use it as an excuse to play Minecraft. But, you know, not necessarily every Saturday. We could do some other fun things. All right. But that could definitely be fun to do at some point. I really like, when it comes to games, I like multiplayer stuff. Like that interests me more. And that's part of the reason that I like playing Minecraft, is because, you know, I'm playing on a server with friends. Okay, there's that, I think. Yeah, that should be plenty tall. I think that's all of the forms that we need. I think. At least for now. At least for now. Oh, let me throw out this tape. We don't need that. Okay, so we're going to need a bunch of tape. Before I start taping everything up, though, there's a couple things I need to do first. First, let's start cutting keys into these, I think. So, the keys, here's my knife. The point of the keys is so that the lids will stay in the right spot. You don't want them to, like, move at all. Because that would be bad. You'd end up with numbers all over the place. So I'm going to try and cut keys into these that will keep the, like, make it so that the lid sits on there easy, but also that the lid stays in the right spot. I usually will end up doing like triangles in the corners just because they're easy. So just cut at an angle, type triangle. And except for one corner where I'll do a square. And the reason for that is that once I have all sorts of resin in the mold and, you know, kind of overflowed a little bit, it can be hard to tell which direction the lid goes on. So if I have one corner that's different from the rest of the corners, it makes it easier to line it up because I can see from the lid which direction it goes on. If they're all triangles, it can be nope, not that one, this way. I've definitely done that before. I have a couple of molds that all of the corners are just sliced off, and you know, I go and try to put it on, and it's just like, why is that not sitting right? But let's get our, so we'll see. So we'll do one corner that's like a square, and the rest can all be triangles. I've done it with, you know, a couple of squares before too, or like both on one side are squares. Like, that works fine too. The other thing that I've done that did not work out well is I put squares in opposite corners and then triangles in these corners, and again, really easy to get it backwards. Really easy to be like, does this triangle line up with this triangle or this triangle? So I'm just gonna cut out the corners here, and I want to make sure that these go deep enough down that when I put the lid on and there's some resin in between, they still will line up in the right spots, because they'll sink down a little bit. Let me set that down. I'm fine, but I don't want to make you nervous. They'll sink down a little bit, and I want to make sure that they're kind of in their grooves to be able to sink down. So just want to make sure that those have a little bit of depth to them. So that should be fine. We're going to do that for these as well. Just move down the line. I usually try to get it at kind of a similar angle to the die. I want to make sure that I don't cut into the die with my blade here either. Like, I don't want to get so close to the die that becomes a problem. That's part of the reason I'm doing it, you know, in the corner here too, because I don't want to run into the die itself. That could cause problems. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. And I'll do the same thing again with the triangles, and then doing a square in the corner, in one of the corners, just so that it's easy to do. All right. It's definitely easier to cut the triangle shapes, because it's just like one line. Easy to line up between the side and the top. Here's another one. But useful to have that square. Here's the D8, this D8. For this one, I might do it slightly different. I'm going to cut the corners off so that they kind of follow the shape of the die, like I was saying. So you can see, kind of cut it off so it follows the shape of the die. Do that in both the corners, do that. And then I think I'm going to do 2 squares down at the bottom, because it just kind of follows the shape of the die, so I'm trying to avoid hitting the die. It doesn't really matter, but I don't know. It feels better in my brain if it lines up. So we're doing it. We're doing it because I like the way it looks better, even though it doesn't really matter on the molds. It's more aesthetic. Okay, there's our D8. And we've got our D2. The D2 is kind of a weird one to make keys for, because it's a very kind of thin mold, and then also there's not a ton of room around the D2. So like with this, you can see like there's plenty, like there's room in this corner and this corner, but like cutting here, it gets kind of close to this, and here it definitely gets close to the top piece there. So we're gonna try and add some keys as best we can, while also making it so that it's not going to slip. So I want to go fairly far down as far as I can, while not, you know, messing with the integrity of the mold. So we're going to cut a corner out like we did before. Now I think I'll probably cut this corner out as well. And that's not bad. It's not great for holding the lid in place though, because if you just have like kind of the two corners, it could still kind of rotate a bit. So it just doesn't end up working out the best. Just clean this up a minute. And so for these, I will sometimes just kind of cut in to the side and put a key just the middle of the side. And I've done this for a couple of these. You can see there's just kind of a key on the side there, just to help keep things. I just did that thing where I put it on the wrong direction. Here's one of my first ones. You know, there's kind of keys on the side there, just to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to and it doesn't try to like rotate. Because I've had molds like that too, where if you do all triangles on the sides, they can kind of rotate a bit. Okay, have fun. See you in a minute. So we're just doing that to kind of help with that a little bit. And then we'll see if we can add something in maybe one of the other corners here. Yeah, I think maybe this bottom corner here we can add something else. Maybe I overdo it on the keys, I don't know. I just want to make sure that my lids are going to be sitting in the right spots and not sliding around. There we go. I think that should work. You know, I'm worried about this side a little. I'll just cut off the corner there. I'll just cut off that corner there. That's fine. Won't do much, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay. So that's all of those cut. Next thing to do. Oh, my nose is a little sniffy. Okay, next thing actually to do before I clean these, let's add the tape to the bottom of our forms. So we've got all of our forms here. We've got some magical packing tape. You can see here that I have packing tape on the bottom of these, and then the die stuck down. I used to try and use like double-sided tape like inside of a cup. This works so much better because it lays flat, and so you don't have to like clean up around the edges. Like you can see that I didn't really end up with any like silicone that ended up underneath the face because it's so flush. So I'm just going to take some tape here, if I can find the end. Here's the end. I think I'm going to grab my bigger scissors. I'm going to start out with a kind of small-ish piece, and I'll explain why. And I'm just going to do this first. I'm just going to cover the very bottom. So this isn't going to do such a good job of keeping silicone from escaping, but it will make sure that when we put the die down, it has a flat surface to stick to. Because then I'm going to take some more pieces that are a little bit bigger, and I'm going to layer those over that so that it's hanging off the edges. There's another piece. And this one, or these two, I guess, I am going to smooth down. I'm going to fold them up along the sides, and this will do a better job of making sure that the silicone doesn't escape. We have that first piece to make sure that the die lies nice and flat, and then we have these pieces to make sure that the silicone doesn't escape. And I don't know, it's maybe a little overkill, but I do end up with, you know, silicone kind of soaking into these sometimes. So it's worked well for me. Pay no attention to how much packing tape I use. I use so much packing tape, guys. So much packing tape. Alrighty. I'm just going to do the same thing for these. So, same process, same piece so that it lies flat, and then our silicone barriers. We're also going to be using this for our ones that we just cut keys into, but that's going to be slightly different. And I'm going to do that after we clean our dice and get them into the place that they need to be. And I'll explain why when we get to that point. Alright, so let's see. Has anybody watched anything good or listened to any good music lately? Like any TV shows, YouTube videos, artists? I haven't listened to a lot of music recently. I've done more like watching YouTube videos. I kind of want to get back into just like listening to music while I work on stuff. I do more listening to music when I am like driving, I guess. I just, you know, I have the radio on in my car. Because I don't know, that I can't hear as well in my car, so I can't really do podcasts as much. Not as many podcasts in the car, because I'm just like, I have no idea what these words are that are being said. I'm trying to focus on driving. There's road noise. There's just too much noise going on. I don't know that these are words that are being said. So I do more music in the car. But I've been watching a lot more YouTube videos. I did go and binge watch What We Do in the Shadows a couple days ago. It was over the span of probably a couple days. That was really good. Maybe not for everybody. It can be a little dark humor, gory. But it was amusing. It was an amusing show. Okay, there's another one. It's so good. It's very good. It is very good, but it is definitely, like, it does have a dark sense of humor, and it's definitely more adult. I'll just go with that. It's definitely a more adult sense of humor too. But it is a very good series. Oh, I hear a kitty cat outside. Should we have a short kitty cat break? Should we say hi to Fitz? I can tell that that's Fitz. Let me move the things that have tape in them out of the way. I don't need cat hair in there. All right, what you doing, buddy? Hi. Hello, sir. Would you like to come say hello to the people? Come say hello to the people. Your fans await. Come say hello. Wait just a second. Ooh. My boy. Oh, he's purring now. He's unhappy, I think, that I'm... Oh, hello. I need to move my, Do you want to go? That's in front of the camera. Do you want to go back, buddy? He's, like, unhappy that I'm holding him, but also purring because I'm giving him attention. You were such a funny boy. Such a funny boy. Why must you use me for public consumption, mother? Alright. He settled down a little bit now. Do you want to hang out on my lap? Want to hang out on my lap? You can hang out on my lap if you want. Even though you're you know, kind of hairy. Do you want to hang out here for a minute? You can hang out. All right, yeah, you can hang out. I'll try not to get too much cat hair in the in my molds. Probably for the best if we don't get a bunch of cat hair in our molds. All right, I'm gonna sit sideways for a minute. Well, I have a cat on my lap. Ow! He has claws. Buddy. He apparently must rub his face on everything. He must claim it as his own. No, you're not going up there. You're not going up there. Yes. Hello. You can sit on my lap. Actually, you can go hang. Do you want to go sleep on the chair over there? You can go sleep on the chair over there too. Like, this isn't like toxic stuff like the resin usually is. You can hang out in the room if you want. You want to go hang out in the room? As long as you... The problem was, so I had him in here actually right before I started streaming. Ew, are you drooling? This is new. I had him in here. Is your mouth all right? You're drooling, I think. I had him in here right before the stream started, and I had to kick him out because the I have leftover soap containers that I haven't cleaned out yet. So, like, containers from when I made soap. I put away the dangerous ones, the, like, lye ones, but the ones from when I made soap last were sitting out. He just hopped up on the table and started licking them. This cat loves to eat soap. I don't know why. He just... Ooh, you alright? Don't fall. He just really likes eating soap for some reason, and it's not good for him. Oh, buddy. Okay, down you go. He likes eating soap. It's an issue. I actually have like a dish over my soap dish in my bathroom to prevent the cat from just sitting in there and licking it. I don't know why. I don't know what he's getting out of it. Maybe it's like the extra oils. I thought maybe it was like the extra oils in it. Because, you know, I only started noticing this with my homemade soap that I made. And, like, those have a little bit of extra oil in them so that they don't dry out your skin completely. So I was like, maybe he's just trying to get those extra oils. And then I got, like, I had, like, it was like a little, like, fancy bar of soap that wasn't homemade soap. It was just... And he started trying to lick that, too, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what... Yeah, he's gonna go sleep on the chair back there, it looks like. That works out. He's gonna go sleep on the chair. That's a good spot for him, because it is out of my way. I've got those four. Let's do these. But yes, you're back. I was just asking if there was any good, like, TV shows or bands or anything that you've watched or listened to lately. And I was saying that I just watched What We Do in the Shadows, which is the TV series, not the movie. I haven't watched the movie. Maybe I should watch the movie. Recently, I binge watched that, and it was good, but... I was saying maybe not for everyone, because it's a little bit darker adult humor, but it is good and a fun watch. But I don't know. Yeah, I should get back into listening to some music. There's cat hair in here now. I wonder where that came from. I wonder where that cat hair came from. It's a mystery. It's so strange that there's cat hair in my workspace. You'd almost think that, you know, a cat had been here. Like I would do that. Like I would let a cat into my workspace. You know, the spot where I'm trying to keep things without cat hair. That would be silly of me. 9. This one's a little bit bigger. So this, a lot of K-pop and French pop. Valid. So let's get that. You know, it's really funny. Like, K-pop is one of those things where I haven't listened to a lot of it, but I know stuff about it because I have a friend that was really into it at one point. Like, I've heard random things about K-pop just because it's just like, you know, I know my friend likes this thing and they talk about it. It's become a lot more mainstream though. Like, you know, there's actual like K-pop and stuff that's played on, you know, American radio stations and stuff. But, yeah, no, back when she was listening to it, it was just like, okay, there's all of these bands that I have never heard of. I really like, I really like K-pop music videos. Like, at least the ones that I've seen, like, I love choreographed dance, and, like, I love, like, really strong, like, aesthetics. So, like, the K-pop music videos is always just, they usually have, like, choreographed dance, and, like, really bold, like, fashion choices or set design, stuff like that. It's just cool. They're just cool. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to get things clean. I want things to not be covered in, you know, all sorts of past silicone gunk and my fingerprints and any of that stuff. And that includes these. Those ones I'm going to assume are clean already, the ones that were already in the molds. I don't want to touch them and make it worse. Let me grab a single glove. Just so I can pick these up without getting my oily fingers all over them. Let's see here. So I'm gonna start with these ones here, and we'll put them into their molds and get them out of the way a little bit. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip, and I'm just gonna kind of scrub these down a little bit because this does a good job of like getting. See if I can show you some of the just like. I don't know where my camera's trying to focus. That's kind of cool. I love how you can see the stuff through it. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it though. It's probably because the middle of my camera is actually here, basically. I wonder if I can go into the settings and change where it looks to focus. Probably. There we go. You can see how kind of look how gross that dye is. Look at how much just random like silicone gunk and oils and stuff is on there. So we're just gonna wipe this down. And I found that it kind of works best to just add some of that and then wipe it on here. I used to like scrub it with the Q-tip. And it just didn't end up working out great because I would just smear everything around a bit. So there's more room, I feel like, on this to wipe stuff off. So I just want to get these cleaned off for the most part. I say for the most part. I want to get these cleaned off. I don't want them to be gross and gunky. I want them to be nice and clean so that we don't end up with any of that. If I put them in while they're gross and gunky, and then I make a mold of those, the molds will look gross and lumpy. No, gross and, what did I say? Gross and I don't remember what words I just used. Did I say glumpy? Because that's not right. Gunky. Yes, gunky. There we go. I know what words I just used. Yes. I am the best at remembering words that I have said. That's a lie. Okay, so that's much more clean. Even if it doesn't vote, yeah, so much more clean. So we're just gonna take that and put this into one of these forms. I'm gonna try and get it as centered as possible. That is not centered, so it doesn't look too bad on camera, but it is not centered, so I sometimes end up here. Sometimes I end up doing that so I can actually get my fingers in there. Try to even this out a bit. Not quite. There is, just saying, there's like a little fleck of resin in there. Or is it on the bottom? I think maybe we got it out. That's a little bit better. Just as long as it's, for the most part, in the middle. Because I want to have, you know, an even amount of silicone around it. Watch for cat hair. So I'm just gonna go through and clean all of these off one by one and put them into our forms. It's always, the terminology when it comes to mold making is so funny because I'm making molds, and so it's just like, what do you call a mold? And so, you know, I form seems like the right word for it because it's not really that we're making, this isn't a mold, like, not really, I guess it kind of is, but this isn't really a mold, because we're not trying to make a cube of resin, I guess. We're making molds for dice. So I just think of like concrete forms. Forms are kind of like more for a general shape, I guess. I don't know what's the like actual difference between a mold and a form. I guess a form I think of as being just like the outside walls, whereas a mold is like like a bowl shape. But that's probably not true. I don't mean bowl shape, but it has a bottom to it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the technical difference is between a mold and a form. But I'd call these mold forms. I'd call them forms. It probably doesn't. The scientific term is doodad. Whatever these sons of bitches, no, oh yes, and then I shall place this in this doodad over here. This is all clean. Let me just double check. I got all the sides. That seems fine. Let's put this one in here. That's not perfectly in the right middle. I'll move it over a little bit. Cool. There's another one. Oh, let me put the rest of the form back on. Took those off so I could get my fingers in there. Oh. Yes, this is. I'm going back to my theory because I'm not a huge fan of making molds. That's why I'm doing molds tonight is because I have put off making molds and I needed to force myself to do them, so I wrote it in my calendar. It's like, no, you're making molds tonight while streaming, and now you have to because you're going to be streaming, so you can't get out of it. That's how my brain works, if you're curious. But I think my original theory is kind of true in that there's like a lot of little steps to making molds. Like, you know, what have we done so far? We've made our forms, we have added tape to them, We've unmolded our other things. We've cleaned them up. We've cut keys into them. And now we are cleaning our dice so that they're ready to go into our forms. And then there's more steps. For these ones here that we're making lids for, we're going to, I'll clean them off as well. And then we're going to put tape around them and then add Vaseline to the silicone. It's just like, there's just a lot of steps here. And then, you know, of course I have to go and measure the silicone and mix the silicone. I mean, that all kind of goes together. I feel like the making the silicone is the easy part. It's all of the setup that's just like, oh. And then I have to do that. Let me get this in here. Okay, I think that's fine. Oh, did it again. Let's put our blocks back on. All right, we're down to our. Those were all the fate dice. We're down to our other dice now. Let's get the. I'm just making clicking noises. Here's the D6. Yeah, I don't need more pipped D6s at the molds at the moment. I don't think. I don't think I need more of the jumbo dice. I think maybe that D10 is the last I need for a set where the highest number's at the bottom. No, at the top. Wait, top or bottom? At the bottom. I made a set of jumbo dice molds, and I made it where all of the highest numbers were at the top. Because I figured, you know, I might end up using the jumbo dice molds for like more complex things where I want the highest number at the top, which is, you know, works great. And so then I went and made a jumbo a mold for like a jumbo D20 where the highest number's at the bottom, because it's just like, okay, I've been making more jumbo D20s than full sets, and I feel like it could be useful to have one where the highest number's at the bottom, because you can kind of do different designs and stuff that way. Things end up looking different. And then I decided to just do a whole set where the highest number's at the bottom. Okay, let's see. Do I want this with the highest number up? Yes. So if I want the highest number up, I actually want to put it against the tape, because that's going to be the top of the mold eventually. So let's put this in here. Ew, that's not in the middle. Somewhere in the middle of those two. That seems pretty much in the middle. Plus those D6 molds, this D6 mold is going to be useful if I'm doing, you know, bonus D6s instead of bonus D4s. The reason I'm switching from the D4s to the D6s is that I've switched most of my pre-made sets from including the triangle D4, like the normal shape that you usually think of when we think of D4s, to being the kind of crystal shape. So it's just like, it's not like it's super exciting anymore, I guess. And I feel like D6s are more useful than D4s. Depends on, you know, what you're playing and stuff, but for the most part, like, I don't know, I end up rolling more D6s than I do D4s, I think. Depends on what your weapon is and stuff, but oh. Plus you can use D6s in other games too. You can go play Yahtzee or something with it. Yes, that's why I did it, for Yahtzee reasons. It has been so long since I played Yahtzee. I don't remember how to play Yahtzee at all. I just remember that I was very lucky at it as a child. But it's not a very exciting game because there's like not a ton to do in it, I don't think. It's just all kind of luck-based. Maybe that's why I don't like gambling. I'm not interested in luck-based games as much. I want stuff where what I do matters. Okay. this one I want the highest number at the bottom, so we're going to put this with the D4 like pointing up so that it'll be at the bottom once we flip it over. This one is hard to hold on to. Good enough. It's roughly in the middle. It's fine. And then we have the D12 left to put into the mold. I finally got the last couple of, oh no, I have one more die that I need to do. But I got the last couple of sets, commission sets that I had going on all sanded today, so that's exciting. I'm going to get those into the polishing tumbler tonight, hopefully. You know, so I have a shop update happening on Friday. There'll be new stuff in the shop. And I think it's going to seem kind of small. And part of that is just because 4 of the new sets that I'm adding to the shop are all Galaxy dice. So like it's going to seem like a fewer number of dice, but part of that's just because a bunch of the dice are just all the same type. Why is this face all scratched? That's okay. It should be fine once I put it into the tumbler. But I feel like part of the reason also is just that I've been working on like a lot of commissions lately, which is great. I love working on commissions, but I feel like I've had a lot more commissions in my tumblers recently than other things. I'm also like polishing some jewelry stuff for the bazaar. I have some pieces of jewelry that I made for the bazaar that I have coming up. I made soap and I made some jewelry. Because obviously, like, my focus is dice and that sort of thing, but I just don't know that, like, a holiday bazaar is where people would go to get dice. So I'm bringing all my dice, and I'll put them out on the table and stuff, but I decided I'll make some soap and some jewelry as well. To be fair, though, I've done this bazaar before, and when I've done it in the past, I did soap. That was kind of my focus was soap. So I'm just bringing it back around. I think I want the highest number up on this one. Yeah, I want the highest number up, so we'll have that down. Oops, we'll get it in the middle. What I was going to say, though, is that any of the soap and jewelry that doesn't sell at the bazaar will end up in my shop. So I've been polishing some jewelry and stuff in my tumblers, and so you know, if it doesn't end up getting sold, you guys, it'll end up, you know, adding more things to my shop that way. All right, I'm gonna clean off these faces. I want to make sure everything is nice and clean. I don't want like a fingerprint on here, because then I'll get a mold with a fingerprint. And then, you know, I'll make dice that has like a fingerprint built into it, and I'd have to sand it off, and that'd just be a pain. Okay, I think I've got that. Let's see how this one's looking. These aren't too bad. These are pretty well clean anyways. Pretty well clean. Those were not the correct order of words, but you get my point. These were fairly clean. There we go. These were fairly clean anyways. The only one that I'm actually somewhat worried about is the D2 over here, because it's kind of started to pop out a little bit. Yeah. And so I pushed it back in with my finger. There's also a spot here, it looks like, where the tape kind of stuck a little bit. So we're going to try and get some of that off. We don't need little bits of tape. Yeah, that's another thing that the random gunk can be from is tape. Come on. I think I need a little bit more of my isopropyl alcohol. Okay. Let's see if we can get all that stuff off. Yeah, that seems to work pretty well. Let me just... apart from the random hair there, that seems just fine. And I'm going to do this for the two keycaps here as well. I should make I should make the R2 and R3 keycaps as well. This is the R1 and R4, so that's the very like top of the keyboard and the very bottom of the keyboard. The R4 is like your escape key and your function keys, and then the R1 is like your arrow keys and like bottom row of letters and stuff. I just figured that these ones would be most useful, I guess, because like I don't think most people replace the keys on their like the letter keys on their keyboards. If I was gonna get, you know, cool keys, I'd probably replace like the function keys or my number keys, not number keys, my arrow keys, things where I don't really need to see it, I guess. Like I can figure out which arrow key is which without seeing the arrows on it. I know that the escape key is the escape key without reading escape. But it still would be nice. Then I could do like full keyboards. That'd be cool. Actually, that'd be really cool. Do a full, like, actually no, I can't do a full custom keyboard. So the only thing, man, I really want to figure out molds for a spacebar. So the getting the molds figured out for keycaps has been the hardest part of making them, because they the bottoms of them have a certain shape to them, and a lot of the actual keyboard keys that I got, I'll show you. I got a set of, we'll put those in. I got a set of keyboard keys. Here's an escape key. It's fine. Well, one, these are kind of matte, but two, you can see on the bottom, like, it's trying to use as little plastic as possible in the bottom. I want to use as much resin as possible. I want to have a lot of space to work with in these, and so just making a mold like I do of my dice with that would not work out well. Okay, cool. Fitz is still sleeping back there. Let's put our keycaps in here. So figuring out how to do the bottoms was the big part, and that's where I'm hung up on the spacebar as well. I finally went and ordered, at the recommendation of I can't remember who, at someone's recommendation, I went and got this system, which has basically a separate piece for making the bottom. So like, here's the piece that does the inside of the keycap, and you make this mold, with this. I don't know how I would make a spacebar. I really want to make spacebars. I feel like they'd be the coolest. It'd be the coolest to make spacebars. That'd be really fun to have a custom spacebar. I'm going to add a little bit of tape to this as well, just to keep the silicone from leaking out. Just a little bit here along the bottom. Keep it together. Keep it together, man. That's fine. Just want to kind of hold everything together a little bit. I don't think it leaks on the sides as much as it does on the bottom. Leaks a little bit. It's not a big deal. All right. So last piece of the tape. keep it together. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone want to, There we go. There we go. Perfect. It is my favorite. I love puns. I feel like that's the appropriate response to them, though. That's the appropriate response to puns. Why tell a pun if you don't want to get booed off the stage? So I'm gonna go around these. I'm gonna make a kind of dish here for our new silicone to rest in. So all of our new silicone for our lid's gonna go in there. I'll do that for all 4 of these. I'm debating if I want to go play Minecraft after this, or if I want to just go get ready for bed. Oh, I might need to go. I'm getting up fairly early tomorrow because I'm meeting my dad for breakfast. So now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I do want to play Minecraft. I mean, I do, but I might want to just go get some sleep. We'll find out. We'll see how long this takes. Sleep. I mean, yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of tired today anyways. There's another hair right there. Get out of there. Alright. And we've got the D2. Last one's the D2. Yeah, I don't know, there's just a lot of steps to making molds, guys. Is it just me? Am I the only one that thinks there's a lot of steps to making molds? Does this seem like it's not a lot of steps? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making that up. It just seems like there's a lot of steps, guys. Maybe there's a faster way to do this, to be honest. I probably am not the most efficient at it. Okay, got that. You should get to bed. Ah, sounds good. All right, well, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you could come hang out for a bit. Hope your early morning goes well. All right, I think that is all of the tape that we need. Yes, that's all of the tape that we need. Yeah. In the past I've put tape on the bottoms and then folded it up, but it's not really necessary. It doesn't do much. Okay. Now we're gonna pull out the big guns. Vaseline! Petroleum jelly. It's not actually, I guess Vaseline's a brand, isn't it? I just call it Vaseline, even though I guess that's a brand. But petroleum jelly! I need to slather this all over the silicone here and not get the dye at all. Because I don't want the silicone that we pour in to stick to the existing silicone, because if I don't put this in, it will. If you just have silicone, it's just gonna stick. You'll just end up with a cube of silicone, which works great if I like partially fill a mold and then I need to add some more later. Works great for that. But you know, if I don't want it to stick, like I don't in this case, I'm slathering this thing in petroleum jelly. And then I don't want to get any on the actual dye, because that'll show up on the mold and it'll just add like a weird streak on the face or something. I don't need that. I don't need that. I want these to be as nice as possible when they come out of the molds. I don't need it being weird. So I'm going to slather this on here, sans cat hair, and also try to be somewhat careful around the actual dye. Yeah, I might go a little bit quiet here as I focus on things. But I'm kind of working my way in. Starting kind of on the outside, and then where I can have, you know, bigger strokes and stuff. And not cat hair, get out. And then getting a lot more precise as I get closer to the dye. And I do want it as close to the dye as possible because I don't want the silicone to be fused around that and it to be all messy. You know what I mean? Like, if all the silicone around, like right next to the dye is like fused together, it might make a mess when I try to pull it apart. So I'm going to try and be as accurate as possible. This is a Q-tip. I've used it for a while now. I'm kind of putting the resin onto my, not the resin, the petroleum jelly onto my finger so that I can grab just a little bit at a time for right next to the dye, so I don't end up with like a big glob right next to it that I then want to try and smooth out and can't because it's so close, which I kind of did here. Okay, got it. It's delicate work, very delicate work. Like I said, I'm gonna go quiet. Ooh, did I get it? No, I think I missed. I got very close to the dye there. I don't think I got it though. It's so close that I can't tell. I think we're good. I think we're good. Alright. Yeah, this part takes, I don't know if it's just, if it takes a long time, but it just takes a lot of, I don't know, it takes a long time because it's so delicate, I guess. Like, some things take time because they're just, like, a lot to do, I guess. Like, they just take time. This one just takes time because it is so small. Some things take time because they're big, and some things take time because they're small. That's a weird statement, but if you've ever done any sort of crafting thing, like making something that's large takes a lot of time because you have a lot of material that you're working with that you need to get into the right place. But also making something that's very small can also take a really long time. Like the skulls that I made took a long time because the details matter more, I guess. You have to be a lot more precise because it will be noticeable. And that's, I think, kind of the same thing with dice. You're working on a very small scale, but it's such a scale where if something is just slightly off, it's noticeable because it's still a very large difference percentage-wise, I guess. It might not be as big unit-wise, but it's much more noticeable percentage-wise. And it's kind of the same thing with just working small. So like the polymer clay stuff takes a lot of time because there's a lot of like finessing the very small details. Whereas making a large sculpture takes a lot of time because you have a lot of material that you need to move into the correct position. It's kind of the same thing, but it's just you have materials that you're trying to get into the right spot. But just the scale really affects things. There's, I'm sure, a nice medium area where I guess that's kind of I guess in between, like painting something this small we'll say, and a mural. There's painting like a canvas. And so like if you're painting something that's this small, every single tiny brush stroke really matters because you'll see it. And if you're painting a mural, there's a lot of paint that you need to get onto the side of the building or whatever. There's just a lot of material that you need to get somewhere. Whereas if I'm painting a painting, I mean, there's some paintings where every little tiny brush stroke is super important, but it's the individual brush strokes are not going to be as noticeable in that painting because people are going to be looking at the picture as a whole. And the picture as a whole is going to be made up of more brush strokes, so they'll all just kind of blend together a little bit. So, you know, maybe that's why I think things are really cool if they're really large or really small. Like, things are just so much cooler if they're like in miniature, like doll furniture, or if they're like big, if they're like oversized. I don't know why. Maybe it's just also because it's something different and makes my brain go, ooh, new interesting thing that is not the same as normal. Maybe that's the same sort of way that I like kind of cosmic horror stuff. Or atmospheric horror, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I like a certain kind of, not even necessarily horror, but almost like uncanny valley thing. I like things that are kind of in like that uncanny valley, not even necessarily like human things, but where things just seem slightly off. I love that kind of like, yeah, I guess atmospheric horror stuff, where things seem like they're almost correct, but they're just not quite correct. And I think maybe it's kind of that same thing where my brain's just like, oh, something is interesting and different. What is interesting and different? Can you find the pattern? We're going to turn into the Dora Explorer narrator. Can you find the pattern? Good job! I've stopped doing that as much, but it's still really fun. Every once in a while. Every once in a while, I'll just do that for random things. Just to myself. It just keeps me amused. Just like, where's the bouncing ball? Is it over here? Yes! Like, I don't know why it's so amusing to me to do like faux children's narrator asking the audience stuff, but it's just fun and amusing to me. It's up there with making random Minecraft villager noises when I'm thinking about things. That also amuses me. That's also a thing that I've started doing fairly recently, and it's just like, this is just fun. Gotta keep yourself amused, right? Gotta keep yourself amused. Alright, I'm getting really close to the edge here, so I'm getting quiet as I focus. I'm almost done with this one though. Alright. There's those two. We've got two more that we need to, I don't know what I was gonna say. I'm trying to think of we're just gonna Vaseline up. We'll just go with that. I was looking for some sort of good verb. Not verb. Yeah, I guess it was a verb, wasn't it? Would that be a verb? Yeah. That would be a verb. Anyways, couldn't find a good verb. I was going to try and make up some sort of word or use some sort of word that seemed related but wasn't actually a verb. I decided that none of them were good. None of them made sense, or they just sounded very strange. So we're just going to go with cover and Vaseline. All right. Let's get this one. This is our regular D8. And we're going to cover all of the silicone in some Vaseline. I assume this is what everybody else does when they're making the lids for their dice. Like, I don't know, but I assume so. If not, I'd be curious to hear what sort of, like, what people do to keep their silicone from sticking to itself. Because I don't know. I think I may have gotten, I can't remember where I got the, where did I get the, this information from? It might have been Ribinator on YouTube. It might have been where I got the information on how to do the molds like that with the petroleum jelly. Might have been. That was a good place to start when I was starting to make dice. Sorry, I'm getting close to the edge again. I'm trying to... I think that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, again, I'm trying to kind of concentrate here. I always feel very weird just not talking for any extended period of time while I'm streaming. We'll see how Saturday goes. I'm kind of excited and interested for that. So if you weren't here earlier, Saturday stream is going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, not noon like it's supposed to be. Saturday's scheduling is a little bit funky at the moment. We're still figuring it out. Still figuring out Saturday's schedules. But I'm going to be playing Minecraft with some friends, so I'm going to be in a voice chat with some other folks. A voice call. Probably not a voice chat. Does voice chat work? Voice call. We'll be in a call with some other folks. So we're going to see how that works. Because I'm used to talking to you guys non-stop. And I have it set up. I set it up with a hotkey in Discord so that I can toggle mute myself. Or deafen myself. But we'll see how it goes. If it's just too distracting trying to stream while, you know, also trying to hold a conversation with friends. We'll see. We're going to try it out. Because, like, if it does work out, I might end up streaming some Minecraft with friends. Some more Saturdays. Because, you know, like I said, I like playing Minecraft with friends. And we've got some other stuff we might do. Go on some different adventures. So, it's a little bit of a test run to see how it goes. I'm not used to streaming with other people. I'm used to having to hold the conversation by myself. It might be nice because, like, with other folks talking, it means that I don't have to talk as much, so my voice won't get as tired. My voice is starting to get a little tired. A little tired now. My voice has been, like, getting tired a lot easier, I feel like, lately. Although, today, I just had, like, a dry throat. Do I still have any of this left? Oh, I do have. I have a little bit of my ginger beer left. I thought that was out. Apparently not. Apparently there's a little bit left. Excellent. But, I don't know, maybe it'll be nice. I think, yeah, I don't know, it'll be nice. I need to figure out, dunk, yeah, launches a hen-sized projectile from a trebuchet aimed right at the back left corner of your room. Hello, hi Robbie, how you doing? I'm lubing up some molds. No, I'm covering these molds in petroleum jelly so that I can pour lids and they won't stick. They won't stick to the other silicone that's already here. And talking about plans for Saturday's stream. Because I'm going to play Minecraft, but we're trying something a little bit different. Because I'm going to be in a call with other folks as well. So we'll see how it goes. You just got done modding 2 streams at once. Girl! Like, dude, like, how? You just had them, like, both open? Just watching the chats? Very. Had to yell at both? Oh, gosh. At the same time or at slightly different times? You know, I feel like they tried raiding each other. Oh, gosh. I guess it was good that you were paying attention. Good thing you were paying attention. That's very funny, though. That is very funny that they tried to raid each other. That probably would not have worked out the best. Come on. Let's get some. I was like, stop! I should really figure out, like, raiding. I've never raided someone in my life. Just let me look at. Ah. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at the raid thing. So it does pop up with, like, channels that you follow that are currently live. That's useful. You find something you like and pillage it. The thing is, like, wrong type of raid. Now you get a large group of people together in an MMO and go into a dungeon instance. What was I gonna say? Oh, I should probably just find some more streamers that I think are cool. Cause like I don't want to just like raid someone that I've never watched before. Cause it's just like, well, what if like I don't like them? Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, exactly. Was that WoW? Was it WoW that happened in? It feels like it was before WoW, but it might have been WoW. Man, yeah. Okay, it was WoW. It was so iconic. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of streams. I have some craft folks that I follow. I really should follow more people just so I have more options. R.I.P. that raid party. Oh man, my dad has some funny stories about MMOs, but that goes all the way back to EverQuest. But yeah, no, I want to find, I think, maybe some more channels that it's just like, okay, I know that I like what this person is doing, so I'll go follow some more folks that I know that I like the stuff of. Because I don't know, it just feels weird to me raiding a random person that I've never watched before. I mean, I've had people raid me when it's just like, hi, you played RuneScape for like 2 months. Such a gamer moment. I never played RuneScape. My brother played RuneScape. I never played RuneScape. No, I grew up with my parents playing EverQuest. And then they moved to WoW, but they played EverQuest for a while. So I remember that as a child. I remember playing EverQuest as a child. Alright, cool. I think we've got everything where we need it. I think we're actually ready to pour some resin. Let me just see, how many molds do I have here? Okay, so we're gonna need a bit, not resin, silicone. We're gonna pour silicone, not resin. What am I thinking? Oh wait, here, this is the satisfying part, if it works. Legos! Yes, I use them as mold forms. So that's how I do all my molds. They work really well because you can make whatever size you want. And also I found that like the squares work really, like they sit together really well in my pressure pot. Like I can, I don't know, you can put them very close together. You don't end up with a lot of empty space in between them or anything. But no, I really like using Legos for that. We could do a Lego building stream. I was saying earlier, you missed your Legos. Oh, you don't have your Legos anymore. Oh, my nose itches. It's all that cat hair. I was saying earlier though, it's just like what sort of things would you guys like to see streams of? We discussed horror games. I was saying that I'd be interested in playing Phasmophobia at some point. I just think that'd be fun. I like multiplayer games. And I was saying that I was debating doing like a gingerbread house making stream. Just because it's the season and I want to make a gingerbread house anyways, so we could just make it together on stream. But could do like Lego your wow. But we could do like a Lego stream of some sort. Get some sort of kit or something. Only if you can eat some icing. All right, I'll make sure there's enough for everybody. But no, like, is there any other? I'm just cleaning this off. There's silicone on it. There we go. Is there like anything in particular, like any certain games or like activities or anything that you think would be an interesting stream for me to do? Because I'm looking for ideas. I try not to ask super often, but I've already asked today once, so you know, I've already done that. I'm trying to get most of the silicone out of here because this is just kind of my normal silicone mixing container. I need to think. You saw your friend play Chubby Bunny with her hubby? Oh gosh. Human disaster, choked to death, live on stream. Too many marshmallows. She lost. Oh man. I was talking to my brother earlier today. For a while now, he's talked about making like chocolates where he makes like two that look exactly the same, but one of them is like delicious and one of them is not. So like he might take a Swedish fish and cover it in chocolate, and then also take like a sardine and cover it in chocolate. And then have like trivia, and the correct answer is the one that has the good chocolate with it. Do something like that, but you know, we had talked about doing that for like a YouTube video or something. But it could be a stream. Could do something like that for a stream. That could be fun. Okay, good enough. Good enough. Cool. So we've got that. Oops. But it could be fun to do something like that. That would be something that I'd want to do probably with friends. Probably want to do that get some other people on stream too. Do it as a group. Try to avoid the gross chocolates. Okay, so got our mixing jug. Let me grab our cups here. Make caramel apples and caramel onions. Yeah. That actually would be pretty. That'd be a good one actually, for that sort of premise. Yeah, because they look exactly the same. Caramel apples. I like caramel apples. Okay, we've got our 2 cups here. Let me think about how much silicone we need. We need quite a bit of silicone, to be honest. I could probably fill these up to the line. 8. Let's see how much. Let me see how much silicone I have in here. All silicone. So these containers here, I have big like gallon drums of silicone, and so I'll take it from there and then pour it into here, because this is much easier to pour into the cup. But let's see how much we have in here. See if I have as much as I think I might need. Oh yeah, I think we'll be okay. Maybe we'll be okay. Is it glue-like? Yeah, it kind of is. Especially the white one here. It does remind me of like Elmer's glue. A bit. It's a little bit more gloopy though, like there's some chunks almost. Like this. You can see there's kind of a chunk there. Alright. So I'll need to pour more silicone into these, but I won't do that tonight. I don't think. I might have to. If I don't get enough. The glue curdled. Delicious. My favorite kind of glue. Curdled glue. Yeah, I might need to grab some more. Maybe. Let's see if I can get some of this stuff off the... As long as it mixes in fine, it's all good. Just wanna... It's a probiotic now. Oh gosh, I hope not. Okay, I think I need to fill this up, so you get to see. There's actually a whole bunch of like sludge in the bottom of this. That's like, it's where it's kind of settled. But I think I need some more. Alright. You get to see my giant containers. Get to see the giant containers. At least for this one. Oops, my things are... Alright, so let's get this open. These are just kind of a pain to open. And I mean, physically a pain. It digs into my fingers. I already went... You know how much silicone I use? I already went through one of these. I think over the course of, I don't know, a year or something. Yes, it is. There we go. There's our silicone there. Is this looking very cat hairy? No. I'm going to stir this up. It says to stir before use. Hi, Mark. What does it say? Yeah, Mark. Hello. Welcome. I am stirring up my industrial jug of silicone part A. I didn't have enough in my container. So let's see here. It says to stir before using. So I'm just going to stir it a little bit. I can tell that there's sediment in the bottom of this too. You can see it's all kind of lumpy there. So I'm just trying to get some of that mixed in. Trying to get my sleeves up. There we go. Alright. Let's see if I can do this without making a giant mess, which is, you know, wishful thinking, but alright. Get all my stuff moved back. Totally gonna make a mess. I'm so glad that you have such confidence in me. I'm probably gonna do this so that you can't really see what's going on, just because I want this to be as easy for me as possible. Oh, look, there's a dead bug. Okay. I think I did a pretty good job there of not making a mess. Ah, it dripped at the last second. Oh, you couldn't do that. It actually pours pretty well out of this this jug, but not well enough that I'm going to do that to measure it in my cup. So we're just putting it in our little container there, and I'll put the big junk. You can't put cat food out of the bag. You can't pour cat food out of the bag without I was feeling. I mean, same. To be fair, same. I hate how sticky it is. I used to use gloves for the silicone. It's not like dangerous or anything. The silicone's not for your skin. As far as I know, I don't think it is. Like resin is. But it makes you so sticky. I don't like how sticky it is, but I found that when I was wearing gloves, like all of the silicone just like added up over time, and it honestly made more of a mess when I was wearing gloves than it does when I'm not wearing gloves to do the silicone. Okay, now that we have this container filled up, we can finish pouring into our cup here. And I don't think the blue one needs it. I'm pretty sure I had more resin in the blue one than I did in my white one. There's two different colors here that we're mixing together. And I'm trying to get just a little bit more. Should I go? I remember reading that silicone's fine. Oops, I just got some on the table. And that resin is not. Yeah, resin, apparently, I had very bad practices when I first started working with resin. When I first started doing resin, I wasn't doing it regularly. It was just kind of like this is a fun craft sort of thing. Now I'm doing it, you know, at least like twice a week. It's too late for me, save yourselves. Yeah, that's fine. my nose itches. Oh, but when I first started doing resin, I did not protect myself from it. I didn't wear a respirator or glove. I didn't wear gloves even when I first started messing around. Yep, no mask, no windows open. Exactly. Did not try to take care of myself at all when I first started doing resin. Oh, hopefully I have enough in here. I guess we'll find out if I have enough in here. We might have to pour more into here as well. But the thing with like resin getting on your skin is it can give you an allergy to it. And so now if I get resin on my skin, or if I don't wear a respirator and I'm around it for an extended period of time, like my eyelids start like itching. Or not even itching, but they feel very, very dry. I had that for like a week where my eyelids were just very, very dry. And I'm like, what is this? It's so weird. And I'm pretty sure it was an allergic reaction to being around resin without a respirator on for an extended period of time. Or I got it on my hand or something. Can't remember. Skin contact. So I'm trying to get these the same. Let me move this to this side because I'm casting a shadow on it. It's hard to see. Oh, actually, I think I got it. Actually, I have a little bit more blue in here than I do the white. So I'm just going to take a little bit out. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So this is actually going to be quite a bit of resin. Not resin. I keep saying resin. I'm so used to doing resin here. Quite a bit of silicone. We're going to pour both of those into our bigger mixing container here. Mix that up. So let's do that. Not with the cat hair everywhere. Don't need the cat hair everywhere. There is actually a cat in the room right now. I mean, there's not a cat in the room right now. There's no reason that there's cat hair everywhere. I totally don't let cats in my workspace. No, there's a cat asleep at the table behind me. Resin, silicone, tomato, potato. Yeah, same thing, right? Same thing. It's all the same. To the mem. Okay. Trying to get there was a little bit of cat hair on the edge there, just getting off, and then I want to get the last little bit of this in there. And the cat is CGI. Yeah, exactly. We just green screened him in post. We have some really good FX guys here on the channel. Now he's asleep at there's a chair at the table behind me, and he's asleep on it. Oh no, he's awake on it, staring at me actually. I take it back. That's worse. No, he's literally just laying there looking at me. It's true. It's true. I am a hologram. Like I said, really good FX guys. Okay. All right. Let's add our other part. Because I don't know if it's part A or part B technically. I'm adding it second, so it's part B. I think it's labeled as part A. Alright, let's add all of this. Alright, I think we've got, let me just make sure I get all of the little bits out of here. As long as I get the same amount out of each one, you know, it's fine, but I don't want to leave a big amount in one and a little amount in the other, because that would mean that I didn't have the same amounts of both. And I need the same amounts of both. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So let's mix this up. You're just a series of ones and zeros in my chat. I mean, that is true. I mean, that is technically true. Even if you are a real person on the other side, and I'm not discounting the fact that you're not, you're still just a bunch of ones and zeros in the chat. That's how computers work. Wait, does that mean that I am technically a hologram for y'all? I'm not a hologram for me, but I'm a hologram for y'all because I am technically digital. This is Cinnamon and Pipe all over again. It's that where it's a photo of a pipe, and it just says this is not a pipe, and it's like, yes, technically it's not a pipe, it's a picture of a pipe. Yeah, so it's not actually a pipe. It is an image of one. So does that mean that I'm like technically a hologram for y'all? Because I'm not I am technically digital. I'm technically something that you're watching on the computer or phone or whatever. Whichever way it's digitally. Wow, time for an existential crisis. I'm just a bunch of ones and zeros to y'all. I'm just stirring this up. I really don't want to add too much air to it, but I'm failing probably miserably at that. We'll pour it really slow. That's part of the reason I use the resin that I use. Mind blown. Is because it has a nice long working time. Curing time is only like 4 hours. I usually let it sit in the pressure pot overnight, but you know, at least 8 hours. But the work time on it's like, I don't know, 50 minutes or something. It's a nice long work time. It's the most are 15 slow, so it has a nice long time, which is good because I work very slow. It's named after me, don't you know? Should be called cat hair, I guess. Okay. So I'm just gonna make sure that I get everything scraped down. I don't want any of one part to be, you know, just like a glob of it stuck somewhere and it doesn't get mixed in. That'd be bad. That's why I'm scraping the sides repeatedly. I'm going to scrape the bottom. And I will scrape off this because it could get stuck on my stir stick. Don't need that either. And we'll scrape that off. Let's get this all, mixed up. It's actually pretty well mixed now. This stuff mixes pretty quick. I've found, like, it doesn't take long for it to be all mixed. I feel like resin takes a lot longer. A long time ago, someone tried using a picture of a coupon and you told them no and they got mad. Oh boy. I mean, I guess that would depend on context. Is it like a, hey, I got this brochure and I took a photo of it saying that your guys are having a sale? But if it's like a coupon, it's just like, no, you could just find that online. You need a counter to it too. Okay, I think this is pretty ready to pour. I'll show you why I like having extra work time. So let's see, what should we pour first? We're gonna do the lids first because I don't like letting the the petroleum jelly sit for a long period of time because it just kind of soaks in after a while. I don't want to have to try and do it again. So we're going to do the lids first. I'm going to pour this in a very thin stream. Not into the number or anything. We're just going to let it kind of flow. And I want to get a very thin stream because that will hopefully help prevent bubbles, because the bubbles that can flow down that thin stream are going to be fairly thin themselves. You told them you have a pick of $100. Can I use that to buy things? Thought you were going to get hit. Oh, wow. Wow. You're full of sass. You're full of sass. Same concept. Yeah, yeah. So there's a few bubbles that are making it through. Hopefully they will rise to the surface. They left and you laughed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that could probably use a little bit more resin. I'm going to move on to the next one though, because I actually have something else that I can put in this to make the lid a little bit thicker, and that is, look at this. I cut some keys out of some molds, and I have leftover resin from them, so I'll stick some of those chunks in there, and that'll help kind of pad out the lids a bit. But yeah, I'm trying to pour it slow so I don't end up with a ton of air bubbles in there, and the ones I do end up with are smaller. I'll be putting these into the pressure pot. Some people will take their silicone and put it into a vacuum chamber and pull out all of the air. I don't have a vacuum chamber, but I put it into the pressure pot because it's going to be under that same pressure while they're being used. So it's just kind of good for the silicone for it to be, if it's going to be used under a certain pressure, to have it cure under that same pressure sort of thing. So we'll put them into the pressure pot. But for now, just pouring slowly so that the air can escape. I usually pour the lids until it fills into like the last section. So it's not like filled up, but it's made it to like all of the corners. Don't want your silicone to get the bends. I mean, basically, yeah. Basically. Not quite, but basically. I think we'll do... So I have 3 of the Fate dice molds set out. I want to do at least one of them for sure. But I'll save those for last, maybe. Because they're not as important to me as getting some of the other things done. They're not going to be used as much as the other things. The Fate dice are the ones with the pluses and minuses on them for folks that don't know. They have 2 blank sides, 2 sides with pluses, and 2 sides with minuses. I have molds that have 4 of them all together, but I wanted to make some single ones so that I can make some little extra ones. I like to send little extra ones along with orders. Oops. So I want to do at least one of these, so we'll do that next, actually. Come on. It's definitely a challenge holding this steady enough to keep the stream small without cutting the stream off or making the stream thicker. You can kind of see you can see the stream there on the screen. It's so tiny. Okay, let's move on to our Fate die here. Let me scoop this over a little bit and get these out of the way. Get these out of my way. So it's kind of good practice to pour the silicone not on the die itself, but kind of into the bottom of the mold and let it fill up from the bottom so that the air can escape. Because if you pour it like over a number, it's possible that you'll end up with air trapped underneath the silicone. But if you let it fill in from like the sides, it will replace where that air was. That was a very bad way of explaining it. But, you know, air is going to try and travel upwards because it's lighter than this stuff. And so this will just kind of take the place of it if it is coming up from the bottom. But if you pour it on top onto the numbers and stuff, it won't necessarily. Just because of the, like, air pressure sort of thing. All right, we're filling this up. Let's see, what do we want to fill up next? I mean, I guess let's maybe do the 2 that I had from last time. This one's going to take quite a bit of resin, I know. This is it's a Jumbo D10. And these molds take a bit of resin, so we might not get everything. So we're going to do this one. We're going to do our Fate die, we're going to do that, and then we're going to do our D4, because I do actually really need some more D4s, because I have like 3 of these molds. I need more than 3. I think that's enough resin there. Let's move over here. Let's see, so, you know, I feel like making molds takes a long time. I've been putting it off. That's why we're doing molds tonight, because I've been putting it off, and I'm like, okay, I need to do molds. We're just going to do it on stream, and then I have to do them. It's been about 3 hours, it looks like. It's one of those things where I'm not quite sure how long it actually takes, because I'm a bad judge of time. That's one of the things that streaming has been helpful for, is like, obviously it's not exactly the same as if I just sat down and did it. Like, there's more, just don't bring in any shooting what? I don't know what, wait, what's that? What are we referencing there? What was I saying? Oh, gosh. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get your game on. Okay. No, I'm not, no. All that glitters is gold. What was I talking about? Oh, it's maybe not the best representation of how much time it takes me to do things streaming. I don't know if it takes me more time or less time, because, like, I definitely get distracted either way. But, like, I don't know. I don't know if it takes more time or less time to do things while I'm streaming it. Because it's like, I feel like I have to be on topic a little bit more while I'm streaming, but I am also distracted by streaming and talking and, you know, just mentioning. Imagine I do regard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get distracted regardless of whether I'm streaming or not, but it's been a good, streaming has been useful for kind of roughly figuring out how long it takes me to do things. Because, like, molds feel like they take a long time, but I'm not sure how long they actually take, but we have been streaming now for 3 hours. 3 hours-ish. Actually, almost exactly 3 hours. And we're finally pouring our silicone. I guess that actually lines up with how I feel molds are too, because it always feels like the setup, but like the actual pouring of the silicone goes pretty quick, but the like setting everything up, making all the mold forms, getting everything clean, getting, you know, it's 1 a.m. Dude, go get some sleep. Go get some sleep. What are you doing here? Alright. You can do what you want. Yeah, you're fine. I feel like, I don't know if the cat and the sunglasses helps convince me or helps to, like, make me more concerned about you being here at 1 a.m. It's just, like, delusions of grandeur of being a cat in sunglasses. It's just like, oh man, he needs some sleep. Alright, we're doing our D4. Let's see, what do we want to do next? Let's do our D12. I've been needing another D12 mold. So I'm gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna do my my normal just catnapping. Yeah, catnapping, yeah. I just realized that you hopped on right after, did you hop on right after Omar got off? Have you guys met yet? I feel like you guys would get along. I think you showed up right after he got off to go to bed. You're the two punny guys in my chat. Not name brand. Alright, we're doing our D12, and then I'll do probably the D6 next. And it looks like I have a bit of silicone here. So I think we might have enough, actually. Maybe not enough to do all of the fate dice that I set up, but enough at least. We might have enough. Maybe you're the same person if I never see you together. This would explain a lot. So we're gonna do this, and then we'll do our D6. Oops, wasn't trying to get that on top. That's kind of makes it a little bit more messy. Now I'm gonna have All-Star stuck in my head. Thanks. I don't know how much resin we're gonna have here. Not resin, silicone. It's still silicone. I keep saying resin. I'm used to pouring resin. Oh, I did recently get. Are you still here, Jen? I think I mentioned, if you're still here, Jen, I think I mentioned to you that I tried out the larger mixing cups. I think I mentioned that too, but they work great. But we could do some like jumbo dice and stuff now. Because I don't usually do like jumbo dice on stream, like a full set of them. Because if I'm going to do a set of jumbo dice, that's all I'm going to be doing, because my mixing cups hold 100 milliliters of resin. But now I have some like 250 milliliter cups. You get songs stuck in your head all the time? Yeah, same. Alright, let's move on to this. So we could actually do like 2 sets of jumbo. How big are jumbo dice? I'll show you. Here's our, oops, just a second. Here's a regular die versus a jumbo regular D20 versus a jumbo D20. So they're quite a bit bigger. So a regular set of dice takes about, here's a D12 compared to regular D12. Yeah, they're fun. What I was gonna say though is like a regular set of dice takes like 30 milliliters of resin, almost exactly 30 milliliters of resin, and then a set of jumbo dice takes like 80 or 90, I think it's 90. So it like takes like 3 times as much resin. But the mixing cups that I have like 100 milliliters of resin. So I'm just going to do these lids. So normally I wouldn't do a set of jumbo dice on stream because that's all I would be doing. So unless we were doing something like interesting where every die is different or something, it just feels kind of, I don't want to say it feels boring to just do one thing, but I like doing lots of different things on stream. Just, I don't know, it definitely makes the streams longer so we can chat more and stuff. Usually if I'm going to do jumbo dice, I saw someone on like Facebook that started doing that, like really huge D20 that was like this big. That'd be really fun to do. Very cool. Don't know how I'd get the master for that. I don't know that I'd want to make the molds for that. Oh man, how much silicone would that take to make molds for that thing? I should have added the silicone to the other side, but I think maybe I'll have enough for both. We'll find out. So this is for a keycap, so for a keyboard key. I have two different sizes here. I have one that's for like the escape key size, and the one that's for the arrow key size. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get the other fate dice, single fate dice done, but I'm glad that I got at least one in here. So we've got these. I do think it'd also be really fun to make like a human-sized one that's light to throw. Is it like hollow or something? I think it'd be fun to make little tiny dice too. Like that's something that I think would be fun. Like just little tiny ones. Okay, let's pour the last of our silicone in here. It's probably not going to fill this up all the way. It might, but I kind of doubt it. But we can always add more. We can add more silicone. I actually used the right word. I used silicone this time instead of resin, like I was saying earlier. We can always add another layer of resin over this. It will stick to itself. Okay, I'm trying to get all of the silicone out of here that I can. Yeah, don't think this is going to be enough to fill this up. But no, I think the little tiny dice would be fun. I was saying earlier, I think it was before you showed up, that I think the next thing I want to do is like Vampire the Masquerade dice, maybe. Because I think that they'd work really well with my logo. Just start saying liquid compound Z 539. Sorry, I don't know why my brain was trying to figure out how to say pound, but it was like, do I say pound? Do I say hashtag? Do I say number? It's like, do I need to say it? Do I need to mention it at all? It's implied that it's a number when I start saying numbers. If you wanted to know what my brain was doing in that moment. That was it. Oh man, this thing is like so close to being full. And here we're scraping out the liquid compound Z number 539. All right, I'm gonna steal a little bit of resin, a little bit of liquid compound Z539. A little bit of silicone here, because that one doesn't need quite as much, I don't think. And so I think we might be able to steal a little bit. That's funny though, it's called pound, number, or hashtag. Man. Yeah, my brain was just like, what do I call it? Which is it? What is the correct context? I need context. This is fine. It's fine. It's plenty. Okay, so before we actually go and put these into the pressure pot, I think these are maybe a little bit thin. They could use a little bit more resin in them. Resin, I did it again. Z539. More silicone. So what I'm going to do is just add some little bits of silicone bits. That one's maybe a little bit big, actually. I'm trying to get it into a section that's not what I need. I need some slightly smaller ones. because that's sticking out. That's sticking out a bunch. Let's get some slightly smaller ones to put in the corners. I don't want the cat hair. Get the cat hair out of there. There's always cat hair, isn't there? So I'm just trying to put some little bits of resin into the, I said it again, some little bits of silicone into the corners. That'll help raise the level. Just to make it a little bit thicker. I want the lids to be a little bit thicker than they currently are. Because it's just nice to have a little bit of... Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, but no, I want it to be a little bit thicker so that there's a little bit more weight to it, so it doesn't like deform. Like if it's too thin, it might like sag into the mold a little bit and deform the face. And also if it's a little bit heavier, that will help weight the lid down a little bit to make sure that it ends up flush with the bottom part of the mold. So I want to, that's what I'm trying to make happen here. Trying to make happen. Yep. Your brain uses the word silicone and silicon interchangeably. Yeah, you know, now that you're saying it, mine does too. Even though they're not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. Okay, let's add a little bit of extra to this one. I literally just realized that they're two separate words. Yeah, I didn't realize that they were even spelled differently. But yeah, two completely different things. Now I'm just gonna refer to it as Silicon Valley. It's very heat resistant. Actually, I guess people do refer to it as Silicon Valley, but it's Silicon Valley, isn't it? Silicon? Silicon? Maybe those words don't, maybe those words sound the same, I guess, in some places, depending on how you pronounce things. I was just thinking about Aaron versus Aaron, like the names, like E-R-I-N versus A-A-R-O-N. And like here, for the most part, they sound exactly the same. They're both Aaron. But like some places they're completely different. There's Aaron and Aaron, which might sound exactly the same because it's hard for me to differentiate the two. But one of them has more of an I sound and one of them has more of an ah sound. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. E-R-I-N versus A-A-R-O-N. Aaron. Yeah, Aaron. We just say Aaron here. But it's Aaron versus Aaron. Yeah. I like interesting language things. I like interesting language things like that. It's just like too many spellings. Fair. Okay. Add a little bit there. This one I think is fine. This is the D2. It looks like it's full enough. It's D8. That's probably fine, but we can add just maybe a little piece somewhere. I don't know. Here's a little piece. We'll just add a little bit into one of the corners. One or two of the corners. Robbie and Robbie. Yeah. Bobby, baby, Bobby, Robert, darling, trying to reach you. I know. To be fair, there's so many nicknames for Elizabeth. Like, that's kind of the opposite direction, I guess, where it's you know, things are... You use Y and you hate IE. I have avoided spelling your name because I wasn't sure. Fun fact. I can't remember what the context was. I was going to, maybe I was in, I think I was in Scryer's chat, and I was going to say something, like, to you, and I just avoided spelling your name because I was just like, I don't know if it's with a Y or an IE. Okay, we'll just work around that. Okay, so we didn't actually fill in these two, and that's fine. Oh, okay. Well, okay. I didn't know, but now I know it's a Y. Okay, I think we've got everything. We didn't have enough silicone. Just at you, yeah. We didn't have enough silicone for these two, but that's honestly good. I kind of made some extras of these because it's better to have, I feel like, those left over than extra silicone, because then you're rushing to try and use the silicone. It's like, what do I do with all this? All right, we're gonna put all of these molds onto my double-decker tray here, and then we'll probably call it for tonight, because that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go put these into the pressure pot. You will play with the extras. All of the extra silicone for Robbie. Yeah, we're gonna. So yeah, these are gonna go into the pressure pot. Thanks. I made it. I had a little bit of help from my brother. I made him saw the posts for me. It works well for trying to get things into the pressure pot. I went and I searched all over for 9-inch spheres, like wooden spheres. Like those, they were so hard to find. I think I finally ended up ordering them on Amazon. I searched around at a bunch of local craft stores and they just did not have what I needed. But no, it's worked out great when I need to fit a whole bunch of things into the pressure pot. But I'm gonna go. Yeah, I think I need to fill up the air compressor, so it's gonna be a little bit loud. But I'm gonna go put these into the pressure pot, so I'm probably gonna call it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will be streaming again on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna be playing Minecraft with some friends, and then I'll be back next Wednesday with more arts and crafts stuff. So, and that'll be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same time as always. But I will hopefully talk to you guys later. Bye!